Okay, so our chart of account structure looks like it is deployed, and we get this green checkbox after the deployment is completed. It's good we didn't get any errors. Now we are good to add values to our chart of account structure. Okay. Now if I open my value sets, I'll show you one thing for the attributes. Now when I go to manage values, we can see there are certain additional attributes like third-party control account, allow budgeting, hosting account type, reconcile. All this have been automatically enabled here. Why? Because we have used this value set in our natural account qualifier in our chart of accounts, and we have deployed the chart of accounts. So if you would have added the values prior to deploying it, deploying the chart of accounts, then this qualifier additional segment qualifiers would not have been available here.
So Ashish, we will be using these same value sets, correct, for our test and validate?
Right.
Okay.
Currently these are blank, but we'll fill up data into these. So I've just taken out one blank template, and now this is how your template looks like. You will obviously go to your website and you will get it here in this file-based data import. Okay, so currently the outage is still there, but you will get out the templates here and it will look like this. So your segment values and segment hierarchies. Right? So in this particular template, we'll have to fill up everything. Okay, and we have this instructions and CSV. In this particular tab, we can define everything, but this particular instruction tabs gives you how you exactly have to prepare the data. Okay, so what are the date formats, what all formats that you have to use. Okay, now what I will do is I will prepare some data here. First time when you open this particular sheet, what we can do is we can select the full sheet and right click and say unhide, because there are certain columns that might be hidden as default template when you download the default template. So you just do select the complete Excel sheet and say unhide here. And each cell will actually give you information how you have to prepare the value. And you can upload all the value set values in one sheet. You need not prepare 5 or 4 different templates. If you have 5 segments, you can prepare all the values in one sheet. Okay, so this is varchar. Maximum you can have up to 60 characters, not null, and whatever these are mandatory fields, you have to fill up this particular code. A2F, bank, entity, value is 10. Now start date and end date is optional. I'm not giving any start date and end date. But if you want to give, you have to give it in this format, YYYY/MM/TD. If you don't want to give, you can leave it blank. So because only star fields are mandatory here, so I will say summary flag to be no, this is not a summary flag. Enabled flag is yes. Account type is, this is no account type. So we are filling it up for the entity. So you can see this is blank. But if you are filling it up for the natural account segment, you can fill up this account type, allow posting, allow budgeting to be yes. No reconcile, no financial category for this. You can just leave all of that as blank. And we'll say Apps Diffusion Bank Limited. Okay, so this is my entity segment, and we are using the same entity segment in my intercompany as well. So what I'm going to do is, currently I'm creating only one entity, and one I will create as, so I can just copy paste these values, and I can just say no intercompany. So if you're using a different value set,
so Ashish, it seems like you don't need to have any sequence to follow, correct? You can just put the name and then put the details here.
correct. For the segment value sheet, you don't need to follow any sequence, but for hierarchies, obviously, yes, you need to follow the sequence. So I'm going to show you how you prepare the hierarchy sheet, but this particular sheet, you don't need to do anything, means no sequence, nothing. So you can fill up entity first, some values for account. Generally, we don't do that. We prepare separate sheets if we are doing it for an actual real client. This is test, so I'll just prepare few values and we'll just upload it. Similarly, we'll add up something for my LOB. So we can create no LOB, and so what I'll do is I'll just keep on writing the values here, and then after that I'll just cut and paste it in the description column in this particular column. So let's just write the values first, and let's say there are certain, maybe this is my code, and we have some values as merchant services. Then let's say maybe have inside merchant services we have credit card processing or something. Then we can have some payroll services or treasury services. We can have loan management services or loan services. We can have different types of okay, so we can give some values to this. Now my merchant services. So I can also have all LOB here as a hierarchy. You can say all line of businesses. So I can include all my line of businesses here. This is my parent. This is my child. Okay, now what do I fill up if it is a parent value? What do I fill up in the summary flag?
Why? You don't need to post it as yes.
Perfect. So no need to post it. Budgeting, it can be yes, can be no. If you are defining the budgets at the parent level, then you can say yes, otherwise you can say no. Right, so this is, we will use this for merchant services, we'll use this for treasury services, we'll use this for loan services. Okay, and I'm going to copy this and I'll cut this from here and paste it in my description column. Okay, so we are done with two segments. Then we will fill up my cost center.
Just question Ashish here.
Sure. Yep.
So right now you copied the description in the US, but let's say if the company has 20 languages and business in 20 countries and all of them are separate languages, we can have a different description for all of them?
You can have description for all of them, but there are certain patches that needs to be applied. So you need to raise a SR to get those languages enabled. So there are some additional underscore TL tables, translation tables, which will store that data. So you need to get that patch applied to your instance.
Yeah, because sometimes you don't want to end up having a separate value set at instance level only for description, like, no?
Obviously. So you can have those values, but means different language. Like I did that for one Russian customer, and in Finland they had specific language requirements, but we have to get that patches enabled. You have to raise a SR and get those things enabled, so your data gets translated into different languages as well.
Okay. It's still going to use the TL table in like what we have in EBS?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so we can just put in some department codes there. Let's say 100 as all cost centers. And only this is my parent value. Okay, then for account segment, what I'm going to do is we will just use the sample from the rapid implementation spreadsheet. So yesterday, if you remember, we had some samples in the rapid implementation spreadsheet. I will show you how to get that particular sample data. Even you can do that for your sample testing purposes. You'll get a lot of chart of account values there. And so I'll just download that template. And it is within the system, so you don't have to go anywhere else. So you download this spreadsheet from here. Okay, so in this particular section, we have sample data. So when you double click on this sample data, this will open up the data for you. And I can go inside the natural account segment and I can use this natural account values. Okay, so let's just use few values here. Let me just delete this. I'll just open one more Excel and okay, so we are going to use some of these values. So the thing that you need to make sure while copy pasting the values in the FBDI spreadsheet is that you are copy pasting without any validation. You just copy paste anything. So you don't need to copy the formulas or anything, otherwise your FBDI would fail. So that is the reason I just deleted that particular cell. So we'll just upload some of these values. Use some of the liabilities.
So Ashish, these standard values, like no, is it a complete chart of account values, like no, at least for the natural account for end-to-end implementation?
So these are sample values, and these values might be completely different for your client.
Yes, yes, I know, I got it. But in terms of someone want to try out, like, so it has
Yes,
all.
yes, it has all the necessary values here.
Yes, so at least end of the day, I want to run the balance sheet or trial balance. I should have everything there, correct? Technically speaking.
Right, obviously everything should have balance, but this will have like everything, including your any type of expenses, revenue, gain and loss, exchange rate gain and loss, any adjustment accounts, all the asset accounts, all the receivables. Those are necessary accounts in the system, interest, everything is there in this.
Okay, perfect, awesome.
Right, so you can get it downloaded from the system itself. I'm not uploading everything, I'm just uploading few values of each asset, liability and everything, since I don't need everything. So we got assets and liabilities. We'll just add some revenue, expenses and equity. we'll just add few accounts, and now when you come to this particular sheet, always make sure that when you paste, you just paste as values, don't paste as anything else. Like if any formulas would get copied, you will get issues while validating this particular sheet. So all this total investment, total receivables, and total current receivables. And we have total current liability. These are all my parents that we're going to create. And I will say total expenses. So any kind of fees or something like that, or big. And then 5 series, I'm going to say okay, I'll just quickly save this spreadsheet. And so now you understand how you have to prepare this particular spreadsheet, and you can fill up all these values like this. I'm going to take this out from the state column. Okay, now for my account segment, I still need to fill in some qualifiers. That is my account type. Okay, so this is all my assets.
So Ashish, did you come across any scenario where you set up the natural account is asset type and then eventually realize like it should be like liability or it should be revenue or expense like no?
But initially you check all of that while when you're preparing this particular sheet. At that time only you prepare that.
Yeah, but I think once you're done the initial upload and now you're in the regular maintenance situation when Oracle default maybe expense or something, technically speaking, you didn't realize at that time it's defaulted to expense and then actually supposed to be revenue or maybe something else. And you
Right.
posted the entries at that time. And then now you realize like it is flowing in different way. So how do you fix it? Like you will go to take care of, what are the options you will have?
So basically if you have posted some journals and that value has been wrongly created, and so what you can do is you can just end date that value, create a new value and transfer all the balances, post all that balances to the new value. So pass a manual journal as an adjustment and make that account code as 0 first. Whatever the balances are there in that account code, put it to the new account code and then end date and disable that particular wrong value code. So you can do that.
You will never go and fix that correct account type for the same value.
System will allow you to fix it as well, but there are some places. Let's say for example you are entering a AP invoice in the liability column. It will only show you the liability values. It will not show you expense and revenue, say revenue values or anything. So there are certain restrictions. It depends on the scenario what exactly you want to change. System allows you to change it, that you can change the account type, but if it has some balance, generally it is uh, not a good way to just go and change anything because it might corrupt the balances and all.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
So we have R for revenue, R for liability, E for your expenses, and O is for your owner's equity.
So, Ashish, one question, like, can we use the account override functionality in this scenario to adjust the balances in case of AP?
Sorry, what?
Account override functionality.
Account, you can use account override, but if that particular, the value has to be there, right? And if the value is having like the wrong account type, then it would allow you to post in the liability combination if it's not a liability type and you're trying to post liability in that.
Oh, got it. Yeah, I agree. If it is a different, but if it is just a issue with account, we can use account override.
Correct.
Thanks.
Okay, so we have created the values and now you have a validation segment values. If you have any errors, if you have forgotten to fill out anything, if you have selected the summary flag as yes and allow budgeting, also allow posting as yes, then it is going to throw some errors for you. So let's say for example this summary flag is Y and I'm going to select allow posting also as yes, and when I say validate segment sheet, this is going to throw me an error, validation completed, one or more error found, and go to cell. If you click on this cell, it is just a basic validation, nothing else. So if you have filled up something wrongly, you can do some basic validation. If you have forgotten a mandatory column, let's say for example, you have to fill up some value set code here, LOB, which you forget, and you say validate, then again you're going to get an error and you have to fill up this particular sheet cell. So basic validations you can do within this sheet, but if you haven't filled up the account type and all properly, obviously system will not recognize that. Okay, now coming to the hierarchies sheet. So we have to fill up the value set code here and the tree code, tree name, tree version, start date, end date, and we have to give up the hierarchies in this particular section. So let's give us, for entity we don't have anything, for LOB we just have Okay, so this is my value set code. You can give the same name as tree code, and you can give a tree version as well. So if you want to give whatever version name, version 1, version 2, and you can give that particular version. And I can give a start date. Now whatever start date you want to provide here, so I will say if you want to see the date format, you can see it in this particular place, YYYYMMDD. So this has to be your date format, otherwise system is going to throw errors. Okay, so you have LOB values, 100 is the parent, and you have, let me just copy this. How do you fill up this particular template? This is your parent, you fill up the parent here, and then you have all the child values inside it. Right, so 100 is my parent and all these are child values, and you just copy paste this value set code and date. Similarly, I'll quickly prepare it for my LOB segment. LOB I've done cost center.
Technically, once you create your instance, then only you need to prepare this file, correct? You cannot do before that because there are some values which you need to do at instance level.
Values you can, means if you are preparing the values, you can prepare the values, but upload you can do only after you have created the instance and all.
Yeah.
Means
Okay.
Offline spreadsheet you can prepare anytime you want.
Because I think there's some of the columns like which had some values from the instance creation right now.
Right. So all these value set code obviously is same, like whatever you create in the instance.
Ashish, like, do you start the tree version, like, do you have like a base version which starts from 1951 or like 1901, and then you create something called current version with assume static of year, static of January, and you what? I think we do maintain that kind of versioning, right?
We can do that. We can do that. Means it depends on business and some businesses they don't want to change the versions frequently, and some businesses if they want to change the business versions frequently, then they do this base and current versions and all. Okay, so this is my child. I'll just see what values I've created as parent. So So we have 13999 as total receivables, and then we have current receivables inside it. So this would come here, and we will have $25,000 is again a parent. So this is a parent account, and then we have okay, so I'm going to paste these values in the correct place.
What's the best practice for number of levels for hierarchy?
That depends. Again, means you can have up till 3 level. Usually I've seen people creating 3 levels, but that again depends on the business scenario. 2 to 3 level is like fine.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, I hope I haven't missed out any flag and will not get any errors. Okay, let us validate this. Okay. So now the places that where we can get errors for the hierarchies is, for example, I've defined this particular value in the parent, and this 50,000 is not a parent here. So if we have done that, good, we saw this. This is, oh. Okay, so I think everything looks okay. Now next step is to generate the CSV file. So you come to this information section and you can just generate the CSV file here. Now do not change the name of this particular file. Whatever name system is going to give, just use that name. If you want to suffix something, you can suffix, but do not prefix anything. Otherwise system is going to throw an error while uploading. Okay, so where will you go and upload this is, there are all the steps that are mentioned in this particular sheet itself. So this sheet will actually tell you, you have to go to schedule processes, you have to run a program called as load interface file for import, then select import segment values and hierarchies. So all the steps are available here. You don't, if you forget, you can go to the instruction section and find out that. So I'm going to select import segment values and hierarchies. So we have to select the zip file that has been created. Just open the zip file. And say submit. Hopefully I haven't missed out any parent flag. If I have missed out any parent flag, then my hierarchies would error out. Values will still be loaded. Any questions on how to prepare this file? I'll share this file with you, whatever we are loading. But any questions or anything from anyone's?
No, Ashish, but I think if you can share all the files and presentation, whatever we have done till, so at least we can practice before next class starts, like, no?
Definitely, definitely. So yesterday's presentation I've already shared with Farzana. She's going to send out an email to everybody. And this today's presentations also I'll share with everyone, and all the files as well, whatever we are writing and on these sheets.
Next week with the FAH, we are wanted to make sure we are ready with whatever the first 2 days we completed with.
Correct, correct. Okay, so looks like our values are created and nothing has gone into error. And let's go to this A2F bank account. So if you go inside this value set or values, both are the same pages, just they have given two navigations. So you can choose any of it. Manage values. We'll just do a quick search. Okay, so it looks like our values have been uploaded and everything is there. So all the account type and everything is loaded. So it is really very simple to upload these values. There is no like you don't need any technical knowledge or anything. It's quite simple. You can just prepare the sheet. You just have to be careful while preparing the sheet that you're filling up all the information correctly. Otherwise it will throw errors. Okay, so I'll show you the hierarchies as well. Now creating hierarchies is obviously easy. We can create it through the FBDI. Creating it in the system is very difficult. Don't create it using the system, because adding one by one value will be difficult for you. Okay, so our three hierarchies are created. We have cost center, LOB, and account. Now if I expand this, you will see this particular version is active as of now. So you can keep on naming. If you want to rename the base and the current version, you can rename that. Once I open this, you will see that updating the tree version will reset the status to draft. Click OK if you want to update the hierarchies. So the reason is I want to show you the hierarchies. That's why I'm opening it. So all my hierarchies are created, total investments, any total receivables or anything. So all your hierarchies are created like this.
In case of you wanted to update the description for so many values, will you be able to use this file-based upload, or you need to go manually and update it?
This file is update mode also, so you can use this for updating.
Perfect.
So it happened with us. We extracted the values. So we were migrating some data from EBS to cloud, and so the developer, he extracted in Excel format, and what that system did, he did not extract in CSV, and system, like for example, we had some values like 100 and we had 1000, or maybe like initial zeros like this 001 and you have 00 01 like this. There were some values, so all of that came as 1, and we uploaded all those values to production. So what we had to do is we just had to update all the values, like there were 70,000 plus values, which I had to go and end date and deactivate, and then we have to put the correct file and load it again. So what I did, I just whatever file that I loaded initially, just I put the end date to all the values and changed this enable flag to no. And I re-uploaded the same file again, and then we extracted the correct values, prepared the correct file, and uploaded it again. Obviously, if you load the wrong data, 50, 60,000 values, you cannot do it manually. That's not a possibility. Okay, so now now you see the version has changed to draft, and I will just set it to active. So you just do this online auditing check. So audit check completed. If any errors, if you have made changes to the hierarchies, one child is rolling up to multiple parents or any of that issues, it will give you errors, and just say done.
So is this automatically published to Sbase Cube, or we need to have manual process?
You have to publish it. So the two things you have to do, you have to go back to your chart of account structure instance and attach it at the instance level, and then you have to publish it. So when I go to my in this level, you have to put your tree name. To just deploy this again, it will take some time, but I can open another window and work on that. Okay, any questions on this Excel file upload or anything?